The Hisense is boasting itself as a regular real smartphone with an e-ink screen, but how does that really play into how you would use this day to day? So we're just going to do some navigations, move some apps around, check out maps, go to a browser, look at images, just the normal things we do on a smartphone with the Hisense against a regular flagship like the Asus or Asus Zenfone 5Z. So let's check it out. If you want to see the full review, you can see this on our YouTube channel of the A5. That will give you a good idea of what the device is all about on its own. So how does this device perform? Now, it's important to note there are two modes here. You basically have speed mode or smart mode, and you have clear mode. Clear mode looks very good. However, everything's really, really slow. You can see a simple navigation between your panels takes a second to 1.5 seconds. That's a long time, seeing that the snappiness of a regular smartphone is something we're all very used to. How does moving an app feel on clear mode? You can see it's an extremely slow process. It's very hard to control. You can change it to speed mode here by clicking the bottom. And we touch on that more in the review, and things get a little bit more fluid, but still you get that lag. So if this is something you're considering and you think it's going to be as snappy as that, you should be thinking again. So for example, if I'm moving something around, it should look like that usually on a regular smartphone. However, on the e-ink smartphone, it's a little bit laggier. Gun to your head, if you had to watch video on the Hisense, you can do it. It looks okay. Obviously, matching it up against a regular LCD LED smartphone that plays video at a perfect kind of fluid frame rate, you are going to notice a night and day difference. However, it isn't the worst experience in the world. Now, it is important to note that changing it to clear mode will pretty much make the video unviewable, and that is because the frame rate is just, it's too slow. It'll be running at 10 frames a second and it'll just look like you're going through a slideshow of pictures. So you need it on speed mode. Typing is also something you are going to have to be very patient with. So for example, if I go here and type in goodyreader.com, you can see I typed it okay, and this will lead into the web browser. Actually, I don't know where the dot is. Oh, there it is. So I missed the G, but for the most part, it didn't actually play catch up or anything like that. It's just you're going to have to deal with little bits of inconsistencies. Sometimes you do get some key skips, and sometimes you do get things that kind of take a little bit time to render. However, for the most part, it actually does register pretty good, and it does have haptic feedback and all that because it is a smartphone with a vibrating sensor inside, so it does vibrate when you want it to based on the settings of your phone. So you can see the fluidity of this. Zooming in, doesn't have to render once you zoom into a different level, because the thing about LCD LED is that it is constantly rendering. That's kind of the point. On e-ink, if you're swiping through people's stories or web pages or trying to read, that is what you are going to be, this is the hand you will be dealt. And you see it's kind of staining, so we can turn to clear mode, in which case the picture looks phenomenal, but then as you navigate, you can see things get a little bit squirrely. That's because it's trying to deliver you the best image possible, but still try to perform as quick as possible. Not an easy combination on e-ink. We have lowered the lights a little bit for you, so what we can do is go to the bottom here and change our brightness level. So you can see, for the sake of the shot, we didn't want to go complete darkness, but you do have pretty much unreadable and even a little bit of darkness that comes up. So like those cases that go on the back of iPhones and a couple other e-ink smartphone iterations, they do rely on light. Obviously, you need light to see things. So that's why they have a glow light on this one. This one actually is a very nice glow light. It's very clear, and it's kind of edge to edge. It's very soft. It's beautiful. There's no overexposure or graying or puffing or anything. Now, they do have a night mode, but it's not what you think. It's actually a night mode for the sake of your eyes, not the difference of color. So people were thinking it has some sort of orange LED packs stuffed in there. It does not. They're just the blue-white LEDs. Night mode is just basically a lower light. Off is off, and auto is based on the time of day that your smartphone is set to. Cameras. Very, very important, very crucial to smartphones. We all use them on a daily basis. Every day, in some way, shape, or form, we are using cameras. What do they look like? Here is a typical smartphone with full ability to have no frame rate issues. You can see I have my Japanese Super Famicom copy of Kirby's Superstar, or Super Deluxe as they call it. So what a camera should look like. And an e-ink camera looks like this. Much slower. And if you are thinking you can make it look better by changing to clear mode, the option is actually not there. And this is because there would be absolutely no way for them to deliver you the quality of clear mode and still allow the movement of the device like this. You do have some other features like HDR as well, which makes the end photos a lot better, but it doesn't actually clean up the movement on your screen. Taking photos is quick enough, and it does capture pretty decently, I would say. And if you are thinking it's going to be this quality when you export it to your computer, it actually isn't. It will look like that when you export it to your computer. All the video and audio, not audio, well, the audio will be good as well. So all the video and the actual images you take will look in full color as they should. It's just that when you take it on the screen and play it back on the screen, your only medium of delivery is your e-ink screen, so naturally it's going to look like that. But again, if you're thinking you can whip out your camera, snap something, and then walk away, well, you know, it's going to end up looking like that. So that's the reality of the situation with an e-ink screen. Audio is very limiting on the Hisense A5, and that's because there's no actual speaker. We were wondering when we first unboxed this after we were doing testing in our studio, and we're like, where does the sound come out? We did a really close zoom in, and actually there are two audio packs stuffed into there. There's one there and one there. And because of this, all of your audio comes from the earpiece, both your loudspeaker and your actual call volume, and any multimedia will be coming out of there. Granted, there are other smartphones that do that. For example, this smartphone, the A5, the Z5, sorry, A to Z, got confused, does use this as your multimedia speaker in conjunction with the actual speaker, and that's to deliver stereo, you know, one from each side. But there is no actual dedicated speaker pack on the A5, so there is a little bit of a diminished quality when it comes to audio on this, so you have to keep that in mind as well. Although it is kind of loud, the overall quality is just not up to 2020 standards. So when it all comes down to it, you have to treat the Hisense A5 as what it is. It is an e-ink smartphone first and foremost, and pretty much only. It is going to perform like this. It is not going to be that snappy, muscle memory, second nature feel of using a regular, I'm going to refer to this as a regular smartphone because it is. This is the odd man out. And if you're thinking it's going to be snappy and quick, it is not. There are major advantages to this, is that it doesn't bother your eyes at all because it's no different than looking at a piece of paper like the ones they include in the box. E-ink, if you're unfamiliar, is effectively electronic paper to that degree, so it's not going to harm your eyes. The battery life is huge. It offers days and days and days of use, whereas a typical smartphone dies within a day. It's only 950 here, and it's 77%. Granted, I do use it pretty heavily, but you know what I'm saying. E-ink is e-ink. It needs to be treated as such. So I hope this video kind of shed some light on the whole e-ink versus flagship smartphone comparisons. If you guys have any other comparison ideas with the A5, let us know. For goodyreader.com, this is Peter.